everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about how to create a weight loss mindset. How do we change our mindset to wire our brain to give us the quickest, most easiest, most effortless success when it comes to reaching and maintaining our weight loss goals? So what we're going to talk about today is what is mindset, that trendy term that we've been hearing about now for so long. How can we understand it in a way that we can actually work with it? Why is mindset important when it comes to reaching our weight loss goals, our health goals, and really any goal? And then I'm going to give you a step-by-step process for identifying what your current mindset is, what results it's getting you, and how you can evaluate and change it going forward to get you the mindset you really need to drive the actions and results that you want. And then I'm going to leave you with some tips and tricks when it comes to weight loss and mindset that have worked for both me and my clients. So if you're new here, my name is Elena. I am the owner of Elena Nicole Health. I am a certified health, life, and weight loss coach, and I myself have lost over 35 pounds and kept it off for a number of years. So now I help other women do the same while also leveling up in really all areas of our life. If you're ever interested in working with me, you can get more information on my one-on-one coaching program, see all of my blog posts and lots of other motivation, mindset, weight loss, health information on my blog at healthyandempowered.com. All linked below, as well as sign up for my $10 weight loss foundations course where I go a little bit deeper on all of the topics that I talk about here on my YouTube channel. So if you like this content, please make sure to like and subscribe so you can get notified when I record more of it. So let's get started. So to really understand how to have a weight loss mindset or how to change our mindset for success with weight loss, we have to understand what the heck is mindset. And that's something that I did not understand for a very long time. So I gave a little background of this already, but I started with my weight loss and health journey when I was in middle school. That's as far back as I remember. And I struggled for years and years, partially because I was approaching it from such a place of desperation and trying to fix myself, but also because I just didn't understand what drove the actions that I was or wasn't taking. And that is where mindset comes in. And mindset is, by definition, just our collection of thoughts or beliefs. It is literally just the collection of thoughts or beliefs that we have around a specific topic. When it comes to weight loss, that's likely going to be what we're thinking about either our weight loss goals, our weight, our goal weight, or ourselves, because really our weight loss and ourself, they really go hand in hand, what our thinking is about ourselves. Beliefs are just thoughts that we've been thinking on repeat to the point that our brain and our body just believes them to be true. A lot of times we don't even stop to question them, which can be problematic because many times they're beliefs that came from someone else a long time ago that we've been hearing over and over again, and we just adopted them as our truths, and we don't even know if we still would want to believe that. Okay, so why is mindset so important when it comes to reaching our weight loss goals or really any goals? Because every single thing we do is driven by a thought that we think. Our thinking creates feelings that drives actions that produces results. And I'll say that one more time. Thoughts that we think create feelings that drive actions or inactions that produce results. Literally, we do not get out of bed in the morning. We don't go to work. We don't take care of our kids. We don't do anything without a thought that our brain is thinking that drives us to do those things. So most of the time when some of us are trying to lose weight or trying to reach a health goal or do anything in life, we just start with the doing. We're like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to go to the gym, which works for a period of time. Usually we have a plan. However, when it doesn't work, or maybe we're not getting started, or we're feeling stuck, or we're not taking the actions that we want, we just try to do things different, but we don't rewind it and actually look at the feelings and the thoughts, our mindset that is driving it or not driving it. And that's why mindset is truly so important, because we have to know what we're thinking if we don't like what we're doing, or we want to know what we're thinking if we do like what we're doing, because then we can use it and apply it in other areas. And that is why mindset is so key when it comes to losing weight or really reaching any goal. I know for me, this is something that was so important and pivotal on my journey, because I had been trying to lose weight for years and years. And I had some success. My weight was up and down. I was extremely inconsistent. And then probably about 10 years ago or so, I was in therapy because I had depression prior to having my daughter and after. And as I was in therapy, something that we did in every single session, and something we do a version of in coaching as well, is when there's something that wasn't going right in my life, or I was really struggling, is the therapist would encourage me to sit down and think about my thinking. What was I thinking in that moment that was driving me to take that action? And that is where I really learned the power of our thoughts and how it impacts all things. And for me, the most limiting belief, the belief that I had that was holding me back with everything in life, but primarily my weight loss, that I had about 10 or so more pounds that I wanted to lose, was I was telling myself over and over again, I can't do this. I can't fit in anything else. I can't figure this out. And I identified that in that therapy session, that I was telling myself that on repeat. And literally, it was like my mind was blown. I did not know that that simple phrase, that mindset that I had, was holding me back from so many things in life and my weight loss goal. So that is really the impact of mindset. It is everything. Second reason that it's really so key and so important is we think something like 70,000 thoughts a day as humans. I think I recently heard it's like 71 or 72,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of those are on repeat. So what does that mean? That means that if we have this habitual thinking that we don't even realize because we aren't checking in, we don't understand the importance of it, we are having the same feelings and the same actions as the day before. Now that's great. If you love your life, you love every single thing that you have, that you're doing, you don't want to improve anything or level up in any way, but most of us don't, or you probably wouldn't be watching this video. So we really have to identify what are those thoughts that we're thinking every single day on repeat, so we can course correct if we need to. So what are the steps to identifying what our current mindset is around our weight loss goals, or ourself as a whole? I'm going to break down kind of the step-by-step process of how we can identify what it currently is, so then we can evaluate it and modify it if we need going forward, so we can reach our goals easier, quicker, more effortlessly, and feel better along the way. I like to use awareness, analysis, and action when it comes to this. I like to use that for a lot of things, but it absolutely applies here. So the first step is we have to become aware of what our current mindset or our current thinking is around ourselves, our weight loss, our goals, going to the gym, whatever the thing is. And a while back, I did a poll on my Instagram stories and I asked everyone, what are your thoughts about weight loss? And the responses that I got back were so negative, that it's hard, that it's awful, that I can't do it, that I don't want to think about it, like all sorts of thinking, a mindset around that was extremely unproductive. So it is so important to understand, what are we thinking in the day-to-day when it comes to those things? Because if we are thinking every single day, it's hard, impossible, and I can't do it, we are definitely not going to be taking the action that we need to, especially sustainably, because our brain is not wired to do things that we don't like, that are hard, and that we don't believe are getting us results. So we're going to stop. So that's why we really have to become aware of what our thinking is. And the first step is identifying it, that awareness level. So how do we do that? So there are a couple of different ways. One that we like to use in coaching is called doing a thought download or a thought audit. So what that is deciding a period of time throughout your day. It can be in the morning, it can be midday, it can be at night. Maybe you notice there's a certain time of like tension that you experience. Maybe you want to be going to the gym, but you're not. Maybe you want to be eating certain foods or not overeating, and you're doing something you don't like to. Maybe pick that time. That is a great time to start, because you're going to be having a lot of thinking about it. What we want to do is we want to set our alarm on our phone for maybe 5 minutes or whatever you have, 5-10 minutes, and do a brain dump of all of your thoughts about a specific circumstance or situation. So that may be, gym was on my workout on plan, or just workout plan. Maybe it's your weight loss goal, your actual weight. We want this to be very factual, what we're writing about, so we can really get all of our thoughts out about that thing. It could just be us, me and my weight loss goals. And then we want to take that 5 minutes and we want to get all of our thinking out on that sheet of paper, ideally pen to paper. We want to take that time. We don't want to judge anything. We want to be extremely compassionate and curious when we do this. And then the second phase is that analysis. So I want you to think about this as if you're cleaning out a drawer or cleaning out your room. We want to get all of the things, all of the thoughts out of it, so we have this empty, clean room to work with. And as we're taking this stuff out of the room, we wouldn't be judging it or knocking ourselves down for having these things. We'd probably be like, this is interesting. I wonder why I still have this. Well, that's how we want to be approaching our thoughts as well. We almost just want to be like looking at them as if they were in our hands, like, that's interesting. We don't want to judge, because that's not going to get us the results that we want here. So we want to get all of our thinking, all of our thoughts out of our brain onto a sheet of paper. And then the second phase is that analysis. And that is where we're going to look through all of these thoughts, and we're going to ask ourselves a couple questions. Number one, are these thoughts true? Number two, even more importantly, are they benefiting you? Number three, do I want to continue thinking this? Is it driving actions and getting me the results that I want? So that is the analysis step there, is we really want to look at all of these thoughts just like we would look at things We cleaned out a drawer or a room before we would decide to put things back, or ideally, that's what we would do. And then the third phase is the action. So, what intentional action do we want to take going forward? We know this is what we're currently thinking. We know this is the result that it's currently getting us. Whatever result you currently have is a product of your past thinking. And that's great news, because that means whatever thoughts you decide to have now and your mindset you decide to have going forward, that is what your future results are going to reflect. So what do we want to do going forward? Do we want to keep these thoughts? Do we want to get rid of them? Do we want to intentionally practice thought habits when we find those old ones coming up to replace those? That is where you get to decide what you do going forward. So that is the 3-step process to identifying what is your current mindset, is your current thinking, what results and feelings and actions is that giving you, and evaluate it, and then decide going forward, what do you want to think? And make this a regular practice. I encourage doing it a couple times a week, daily, if at all possible. And the other times during the day that you can do it, if it's not just having a set time where you're doing this thing that we call a thought download or a thought audit, is when you're in a situation of like high emotion or high tension, like I mentioned before, you can do it in your mind. It's not as powerful, but you can literally think about the circumstance and start watching your brain and thinking about your thinking. What am I thinking about this that is causing me this feeling of angst or disinterest or unmotivation or whatever it is for you? We really want to get clear that most important piece here is, what are we thinking about these things? Because that is what's driving everything else. We think it's a thing, but it's actually a. And then lastly, what I want to leave you guys with is some tips and tricks, some mindset shifts that have been extremely helpful for me on my journey to losing weight and with my clients as well. These are things that I've shared with people. They're like one sentence, and they come back with me with, wow, that was a game changer for me. Really just thinking differently about this has made all the difference. So I want to share them with all of you. So the first one is, like I mentioned before, my number one limiting belief used to be I can't. I was telling myself that repeatedly. And because I was telling myself that is the reality that I was creating, because our thinking always produces our results. So instead of telling ourselves, I can't, if you ever notice yourself saying that or thinking that, check in with yourself. How do you feel? Is it benefiting you? Is it driving the action and the result that you want? And I always encourage shifting that to I can. I actually can do this. I'm capable. I'm physically capable. Even if you don't want to do something and you're saying I can't, change that to I don't want to do this, but I am capable. It just changes the way you feel about yourself and your relationship with yourself. The second one is, instead of saying I can't have or I have to do this, which makes us feel very restricted or very obligated, it doesn't create a feeling that is action inspiring and that feels good overall. And to create a sustainable, maintainable, healthy lifestyle, we want to be doing things for ourselves that actually take care of ourselves, that leave us feeling better than we did before. So if we're generating these emotions that don't feel good, we're not going to want to keep doing it. So thinking things like, I can't do that, I can't have that, or I have to do this every day. I hear time and time again from clients that does not drive them going to the gym or them eating the way that the way that they want to eat. So instead, I encourage changing that to, I get to do this, or I'm choosing to do this. Even if you don't love your workouts, even if you don't love what you're eating, you are choosing in that moment to eat it because you want the results that you have set out to get. You want to achieve the goal that you set out to achieve. You want to lose the weight. You want to create a healthier lifestyle, a healthier body. You want to feel better in the day-to-day. So you are choosing to. You don't have to do anything. And it's not that we can't have or can't do. We are making a choice every time that we do it. So we might as well be honest with ourselves there. The next one is, instead of saying, I need to stop doing this, or I need to do this, which again, we feel that obligation, sometimes that pity, more of a negative emotion, we can change that to, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it when I get home today, or I'm doing this. So it's much more of an empowering, focused, kind of strategic feeling than that pity and that disempowering, kind of defeated feeling. The next one was a big one for me as well, because as I mentioned in the beginning of my journey, like I was really approaching weight loss from a place of lack and desperation. Like I felt like I had to fix myself. I had to lose this weight so I can fix myself and feel better. And that is just not the way that it works. So instead of approaching it from a place of wanting to fix ourselves and like we will feel so much better and life will just be unicorns and daisies and perfect when we get to that place, we want to approach it from a place of self-care. I really love myself. So I want to take care of myself every day and make choices that are going to leave me looking and feeling my best every single day versus the alternative. That is going to get you the results so much quicker. You are going to be so much more consistent and you're going to feel so much better along the way. Another big one is focusing on progress versus perfection. I know you hear this all the time, but it is truly so important. And I would not have my consistent healthy lifestyle or habits if I didn't focus more on what am I doing better than I did 5 minutes ago, yesterday, the week before, a year ago, and not obsessing over everything having to be perfect all the time, because that's impossible. That doesn't exist. My life is not going to look like someone else's that appears perfect on Instagram or whatever it is. And if something doesn't go exactly how I want it, if I believe that I can only be successful if it is perfect, I'm just going to bail all the time on myself, which we absolutely don't want to do. So if we can just embrace that perfection doesn't exist and we are just continuously moving forward, we are going to be setting ourselves up for so much more success. Another one is check in with yourself. If you are saying that I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, or I'm thinking about doing this, if we're not hoping or trying for results here, we are actually doing things and we are accomplishing them. We are working towards our goals. So I encourage you to take out any hoping or trying. That puts it in the hands of like someone else to accomplish this goal for you. When we say we're hoping, that's like we say, I hope the weather will be nice next week. I hope it won't snow. And it's like we're just putting our hands up and waiting for something to fall out of the sky. We are actually doing the things. We are working towards the goals. We are putting in the work. We are not just hoping and trying for it. And when we say we're trying for something, we're almost giving ourselves an out before we've even gotten started. We definitely don't want to be doing that. Lastly, I just want to leave you with one thing we don't ever want to do is beat ourselves up if we make a mistake or go off track or aren't perfect with something. We are human. That is to be expected. And failing is actually how we learn, as long as we reflect back on it. We can't ever fail. I don't think we can ever fail at anything unless we completely give up or quit and don't keep moving forward. So if something doesn't go exactly as planned, you are right on track. That is completely normal for all of us. I do things all the time that I'm like, wait a second, what was that? That is not, I need to course correct. Like that is not what I want to be thinking, feeling, or doing. So have compassion and curiosity with yourself. Just like I was mentioning, as we're evaluating your thinking, we want to do that in the day-to-day with every single thing that we're doing. We don't want to ever beat ourselves up. There is nothing we could have eaten or drank or done that is as harmful as beating ourselves up in the future, because that's just going to perpetuate the cycle of negative behavior that is not going to get us towards our weight loss or health or any other goal that we want. So I hope this was helpful in helping you develop a success mindset I have around weight loss. I have a million other tips and tricks and other pieces of advice and insight from my long journey. So you can definitely, like I mentioned before, check out my blog, healthyandempowered.com. You can also sign up to work with me. I have my $10 Weight Loss Foundations course where I dive deeper into this in the caption, as well as on my blog, you can sign up to book a free call and we can go from there. So if you liked all this content, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we will talk soon.